Hey guys, hopefully y'all can hear me. Yeah, it looks like audio is coming through on my end. Thanks for being here, appreciate y'all. Yeah, so this was I'm sure a bit unexpected for a lot of y'all, and it's it was quite surprising to me as well, but we'll just go ahead and jump right into it. So yeah, just to give a little uh, opening to my weekend and how it's been. I was intending on doing a water fast until tomorrow, um, but then I just kind of got bombarded with all of this stuff that I've got to deal with, and so I decided to break the fast. I'm back to juice, so woe is me, but back to juice and just to kind of get a little bit more energized so I could deal with this. But yeah, so let's just jump right into it. So there have been some rumors floating around about me that I was in an organization that was a cult and was funded by the Clinton Foundation and Illuminati and all of these sorts of things, um, which is, kind of funny from one perspective, just because I know my experience but so just to be transparent with what this organization is. Um, so I did a group training exercise. It was a course, a 3-part course that I did with an organization called Momentum Education. And Momentum Education is about this sort of self-discovery of finding who you are, and it's really quite intense of a program in that it really boils down to exposing the ego and showing that your ego is really the only thing that gets in your way. It's the only thing that ever stops us and limits us from what we are doing. But people people found out that I was in this course, which I've never hidden it or tried to hide it. I have a picture on my Facebook profile of the last group that I did with, which was just an absolutely lovely group that I still keep in touch with a lot of them. Um, but people decided to take that and go and look on the website, which there is the founders and are definitely left leaning, and it was founded in New York, so they are very left leaning in that regard. But they don't ever put any of that political leanings in the course itself because I was not left leaning, and it was all about teaching acceptance and loving one another, and that was a huge part of it. So there was never any of that political leanings in there. But given that the founders are very much left leaning, them being endorsed by the Clintons was like, that's like a high honor to them. Just like anyone who voted for the Clintons or still believes that the Clintons are good people would think that that's a high honor to them. So, so now I'm being accused of being involved with a Clinton organization, foundation. I think there have been people who said it's like associated with Disney as well, and so it has to be bad. And um, yeah, so that's one aspect, and then people went further looking into it to find these examples of really disgruntled people in these courses who were upset with how the course was run. And yeah, Danny, you said you were a Bernie supporter. I was a Bernie supporter. Not after what was it, 2016, not after he folded to Hillary. I was never a Hillary supporter. I was never a Hillary supporter. And I was never really left leaning. I liked Bernie's message of exposing the corruption, the money in politics. But, but yeah. But anyway, so these people went through and they looked at reviews of this course, and like I said, it's an ego busting course. So it went from basically, so let me just give an overview of the course. You were brought into this group setting, and we had a trainer and then a bunch of coaches who were all volunteers, and it was like a live exercise where we would go through and uncover different aspects about ourselves. So we would go through, our relationship with trust, or our relationship with our parents, or our relationships with other people, our relationship with money, and kind of break down where are these self-limiting beliefs that we put out there, where are they keeping us from reaching our highest potential within that realm. And along with that, there was a lot of ego exposing. And sometimes always when the ego is exposed, it doesn't like it. Um, so I witnessed several people walk out of these courses very angry for having had their ego called out. And so I could easily see how one of these people who had their ego busted would go and write reviews about how this organization was a cult and talk about all these negative things about it, because that's what the ego does when it's upset. It goes and lashes out and finds all these different things. So these people who are spreading rumors are ignoring the vast majority of positive reviews of this course and how it helps so many people. Wow, I saw so many people transform their lives through this course. I saw so many people walk out of there with like having eliminated all credit card debt, or healing their relationship with their mother, or um, you know, letting go of past traumas, or like all sorts of beautiful things come from it. And you go and look at reviews of this course, and it's overwhelmingly positive. But these people that are spreading rumors are cherry picking the few of these really disgruntled. You can see, at least I can when I read them, you can see how this is the ego's response to having been called out. And so I could see that person leaving the course and going and writing this, I'm going to write this really negative review, and I'll show them who they are. I'm going to call them a cult and all sorts of things. And um, so those who are spreading rumors about me being involved with the cult are cherry picking those few comments that are made by disgruntled people who had their ego busted, and all of a sudden, guilt by association, I was involved with this cult. Um, so, and yeah, to most of y'all, I know many of you haven't heard it yet. It's not. I just kind of wanted to address it up front before it got any further, and continue to reiterate that I take a lot of pride in how accessible I am. I really do. Like it's been one of those things where I was always frustrated at other people on YouTube or wherever, influencers, or I don't even like that word influencers, but just people in general in the public light were so inaccessible, so unreachable. And I've always taken pride in my desire to be as transparent and open and accessible as possible. And the fact that people are spreading rumors and not coming to me and even asking questions, like, before you judge, like, you're not going to come get my perspective or see what's going on. Like, that's why I said it kind of saddens me to see those step into that. So I just wanted to reiterate to y'all here that I'm always available. I'm always available for questions. We do our Telegram live chats, and you can ask me anything on those. Truly, like, you could come in with accusatory whatever, and I will break it all down. I will divulge any part of my past that anyone's curious about. I'm not ashamed of anything. There have been aspects of my past that we've all learned from. Um, but there's nothing that I'm ashamed of. I've always been this consistent of, like, always seeking the truth and always striving to be a better person. And of course, it's gotten better as the years have gone on. But but yeah, it's just yeah. So I just wanted to get out in front of it. Um, yeah, Rebecca, I'd highly recommend it. The only reason I wouldn't recommend it now is because after COVID, they really took a further left spin. It's a really great course, but they took a further left spin, and now they're more virtual like classes, which I really don't see them being nearly as effective that way. And so I know as soon as the truth comes out, they're going to make a big shift, and they're going to be fantastic. But I would probably wait until they do some readjustment after the truth comes out, because they are very left leaning in their leadership. Um, and it's interesting because the course teaches, Momentum teaches all about not being a victim. It teaches that we take responsibility of our life, and we are the ones who step into ourselves, and that's the truth. Like, if you want to be a victim, you get to be a victim. That's the simple truth of the matter. But not necessarily in the course, but some of the posts I see from the leaders, they advocate for the whole, like, I don't know, some issues where victims are certainly not, it's not encouraged to look at that victim mindset, but instead of, I don't know if that makes any sense, but so yeah, I had just an absolutely beautiful experience. I keep in touch with so many people um, from at least the most recent course that I did, and um, yeah, it was a great experience for sure. I learned so much about myself. I saw so many people go through some really transformational healing. Just a lot of tears shed, a lot of weight lifted, um, and yeah, some really powerful stuff. But yeah, it's fun stuff. So yeah, just wanted to get that off my chest. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all are truly fantastic, and I yeah, I mean that so much when I say I love you. Like, I do. I love you. I love y'all so much, and I'm always here for you. I'm always here to support you and help you out with whatever. But we have to be doing the work, which is laying the truth as our foundation. Which, and even in the book of Matthew, like, if there's a transgression, you go to the person first. And that's what I want to stress, is like, if someone has an issue with me, please come to me and give me a chance, or give anyone a chance. If you have an issue with anyone, go to them, give them a chance. And 99% of the time, the issue is resolved with that way. But then Jesus outlines, if it's not addressed there, then you bring in a third party and you address it again. And if it's still not addressed that way, then you go to the larger community. And so just please take that route. It's much easier that way, so that we can do this kind of stuff. But yeah, that's doing the work. Um, and as we get further along in this process, and as the ego, because the cabal is just our ego manifest. That's all it is. It's just our ego manifests in the external world. And so as the cabal is continually exposed, our internal cabal, our ego, is going to continue to fight. It's going to continue to fight tooth and nail against anyone that's exposing it. It truly is, and so it's going to show itself in whatever way it needs to. It's going to show itself, and however it turns out. So we just have to remember that as we get further along in this process, these things might intensify. They might intensify. Um, or they likely will intensify. But it's all part of that refining process. We are we are going towards the truth, and there is no space for ego as we get further along. It has to be people that are we have to all be doing the work if we want to truly be on this path. So when we give in to fears, or um, you know accusations based on just false perceptions without even looking into it remotely, it's or going to the source, or whatever needs to happen, like, that's just another ego being exposed, and egos don't like to be exposed. They don't. So to any, I know most of y'all here in the chat have said you didn't really hear this rumor, and like I said, I don't think it's spread very far, but to any who are, I'm sure, listening in, who have been sharing or spreading these kind of rumors, like, I love you. I truly do. And I'm here. I'm here to address it. I'm here to talk about it. I'm here for any questions if you want to talk privately or publicly, however you like. Um, but we can't be given into fears like this. We can't just be, yeah, letting our ego take the reins and um, casting someone down. Like, because I've done nothing but be transparent. I've been nothing but loving and open, and this is me. This is me fully. I'm not hiding anything. Um, but yeah, y'all, y'all support is so beautiful. Like, oh my goodness, you made me cry. It's so touching to see. Like, hmm, yeah, it's beautiful. And yeah, Mona, Justin, you know how Charlie talks about they throw things at us to cause us heartburn. Well, this is your time. I've had mine when I worked in corporation. Yeah, I mean, and it's all perfect too because like I was doing the water fast, so I was already in a pretty vulnerable state. And then all of this kind of comes at me. And that's just another, like, okay, that's God saying, okay, I see you've been doing a good job, but let's kick it up a notch. Let's make it a little bit more challenging so that we can grow and add another layer to this resilience and stand even more firmly in the truth. So for that, I appreciate the challenge, and I appreciate having this opportunity to step further into myself and step further into the truth and continue to advocate for that truth and transparency in any possible way that I can. Um, so it all happens for a reason. We're always going to be pushed in that sort of way because God wants us to move to our highest self. God wants us to be that just most beautiful, brightest, most brilliant representation of ourselves. And so we're always going to be pushed to that. Um, so like I always say, if we lean into those challenges, and I actually learn that from Momentum about leaning into challenges because they're here as gifts. They're here to tell us something. But if we lean into those challenges, if we lean into those opportunities, unlimited growth is our potential. It never stops, and we always get to move. We always get to continue to grow. Uh, yeah, thanks, guys. Cecile Waldrop asked, "What was the lie?" So it was that I was involved with the cult because I took some self growth course, and they have negative reviews, like 99. Like I see most places they have like 4.8 out of 5 stars, I think, on Yelp. And so most of the reviews are overwhelmingly positive, but there are a few where it's like, oh, these guys are cults and it was a horrible course and they didn't let us take bathroom breaks and all sorts of things. It's like, what? I don't know what your experience was, but it was completely different than mine. Um, so that's the lie that was spread about me, is that I was involved with some cult that was um, endorsed by endorsed by the Clintons and all sorts of things. And it's like, no, nope. I mean, it on their website. I found that line where it said that the founder. Let's see if I can read it specifically, just so I get it right. But the founder was like, they're left leaning, so of course they love the Clintons and all of that kind of stuff. But like I said, they don't put that in the course at all. It's not political at all. Um, it's very much just about the purity of the purity of the self, and how we're just beautiful beings that are doing our best in this world, and how we can do even better. Yeah, so the founder, Robin's work in South Africa with the Truth and Reconciliation Commission garnered her recognition and acknowledgement from the Clinton administration for designing and implementing a series of specialized workshops that supported survivors of the atrocities of apartheid. So she worked in South Africa, and from my understanding is she helped heal a lot of the anger and vitriol that a lot of the African American community, or not African American, but the um, the Black community in South Africa was experiencing, and there was a lot of violence on both sides. Um, so she helped heal a lot of that and helped the Black community process a lot of anger and violence that they were causing against others in this sort of vengeance kind of way. So from my understanding, it was very much like trying to get back to this, hey, we're all in this together, we're all family. And so these courses and these activities and things are just helpful to break us down and get us to look past our egoic mindset and looking at external appearances and things like that. Um, so yeah, that was the lies that I was involved with, some cult. But yeah, I don't need to be on here very long. I mean, I'm happy to stay on for a minute. I know Charlie's got his show at 7, so in an hour and 10 minutes. If anyone has any more questions, um, I'm more than happy to address them. As always, like yeah, I mean, sometimes when we're in the middle of a show, I don't always get to your questions just because it can disrupt the flow of where we're going. But for shows like this, especially, I'm more than happy to address the questions. Yeah, Ari says, at some point it is not worth your attention, Justin. It would be like Trump addressing every assault levied by an MSNBC hacker, any of us having to explain why we gave money to an evil petroleum company when getting gas. Yeah, you're right. I mean, those are very wise words to say, and I was debated on whether to even get into this at all. But Charlie asked me because Charlie got a few messages about it, um, and then I've been hearing about it, and it just felt like the right thing to do, just to get out ahead of it and you know speak about it. But you're right. It's also should be weighed that the more that we give attention to these kind of things, the more that they just encourage them a lot of times too. So it's finding that balance of where to go at, because yeah, Trump couldn't sit here and address every attack that has been given against him, that's for sure. Um, but he does address some things, and so I think it's very important to address the certain attacks that need to be talked about and brought light to, because if we just let them, then it's just the liars that get to tell the tale. But at the end of the day, um, the truth will always come out, and the truth is coming out. And as long as I stand in the truth, I have nothing to fear. I don't fear anything. It's yeah. The good news is that you're flying so high that you won't even cross most people's radar. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, thank you all for joining me here. It's a good space to be, and I will continue to yeah, just be me. Just be me, um and as always, like if there is some skepticism about me, or what what has happened to me, or where I've come from, or whatever. Like there's another one that was kind of tagged onto this that was like, yeah, Justin's not even his real name. It's like, well, it is. It's my middle name. It's my middle name. So it is my real name, and it's what I've always gone by. Um, yeah, it's just funny stuff. It's funny. You guys are amazing. You guys are truly amazing. Jackie says, Justin, you and the entire Freak Sense family is where I go for encouragement, truth, love, and light. You've never steered me wrong. Thank you for always being genuine. Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate that. And that's one thing that I can't speak for anyone else, but I know that I will always go towards the truth. And I know Charlie and Colleen are that way as well. Like they are the real deal. And you can't really fake that. Like I guess you can fake it for a little bit, but it's hard to fake it for a long time. Yeah. Most of our families think we're crazy just for being raw vegan. Yeah. It's true. Yeah, thanks, Chris. We all have past, no one's perfect. And I'm not even really ashamed of much from my past. It's just it's more just the misinterpretations that people have. But again, thank y'all for reminding me that it doesn't really matter the perceptions of others. People will perceive what they like and they'll believe what they like. And if it means if someone needs to fall away because they uh they feel something differently, that's okay. That's uh that's okay. Like I've always said, if I lost every single follower, if I lost every single subscriber, if I lost everyone who listened to me, it would not change my message. It would not change who I am. I would not change my desire to seek and share the truth. It's as simple as that. But the more that we step into the truth, um, yeah, those who are ready for it and truly doing the work are just going to gravitate towards it, and those who are not are going to fall away. And that's just how it works. That's the magnetism. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So let's do some breathing. You want to do some breathing with me? Let's do some deep breathing. I'm not even going to count or anything, but let's just do let's do some breathing with some ohms, with the vowels, as Charlie likes to advocate. So with the I om. So let's do 9 of those. I like 9. 9's a great number. So we're gonna do. I'm gonna. You're welcome to follow along. I'm gonna inhale through the nose, and then I'm gonna exhale with the I om. So you're welcome to do it with me. So inhale. I Thank you guys. It's always a great way to recenter, rebalance. I did that this morning too, and it's always perfect. And that's why the truth is always so simple. We have these free gifts available to us just to breathe. The fruit should be free, and it will be free. And yeah, and then just the stillness and silence. We don't need to pay for anything. It's all there. It's all there waiting for us. All right. Well, I'll keep this one short today. It was great connecting. Looks like my internet is capable of handling a Zoom call. I know the last Telegram chat was a bit wonky, but I think I tweaked some settings that should help for the next one, and I hope to do that. Just trying to figure out what day I want to do it. I might pose yeah, I'll figure out what day I want to do it, but I want to do that regularly. But yeah, I love y'all so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hearing me out, and um, yeah, and look forward to seeing y'all in the chat for Charlie's live, which should be, yeah, it's going to be in just under an hour, and he's going to be addressing the similar vein of things, but just providing that transparency on what's been going on, and probably not getting into, well, I really don't know what he's going to get into, to be honest. You never know with Charlie, but um, it's all about doing the work and how we have to be very clear about doing the work. And that's just the simple truth. We have to get clear about doing the work, and not judging anyone who's not doing the work, but we do have to be clear to let them know, or just we have to do the work. It has to be in every facet. There can't be things that we pick and choose, where we do the work and not. And that's not to say that we shouldn't be at, we should all be at a certain level, but doing the work is about taking each day and saying, you know what, I'm going to do a little bit better today. I'm going to cast my net to the right, and keep going that way. So I love y'all. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the live chat for Charlie's show. And yeah, and then we've got the show on Tuesday, which I'm really excited about, with Casey Vegetable Police, and Nathan Von Dutch is going to be our guest expert, and he's great. I've been chatting with him. He's fantastic. So look forward to that. All right, guys. I'll catch you next time. Love y'all so much.